So when you do rotation sometimes, you have to make sure you do it sensibly. I understand a lot of us are used to the Wenger days where he does wholesale rotation. Yes, at that time, that was what we're used to. Another manager doesn't do that. We have to get used to it. This fear mongering of this nonsense of, oh, we might get injuries. Stop it. Come on, let's stop it. You're pushing this narrative. Injuries are part of the game. You can get injured without playing the game. Like I said yesterday, Smith got injured after the match when it's warmed down. So what about that? Quarantining, if you watch the All or Nothing documentary, Quarantining actually got injured coming out from the bathroom. So sometimes I understand you have to mitigate, you have to make sure the odds of injury are low as possible. But these guys are professionals. I've said it before. Calm the fuck down. These guys are professional footballers. That is their job. They have the best dietitian, nutritionist. They have the best doctors around them to advise them on their health. They have people watching, monitoring their fitness and progress. So I understand from your layman, you think this guy's in the red zone. Like even let's look at it from the layman perspective. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new and you enjoy the content, do not forget to stick a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content too, and do not forget to turn the notification bell. So when I drop this video, you can be alerted. So I'm going to do the reactions to review to the match we had today in the Europa League, FC Zurich versus Arsenal. We know Arsenal won it narrowly by 2-1, very narrow. The narrow victory does not suggest how the match went, even though we didn't do too much to score more goals, but it's still a victory. And I understand some people are very concerned about what kind of team we're going to put out. If you look at my preview that I did yesterday or 2 days ago, I said it, I would not be surprised if Arteta go relatively strong for the team from team sheet, because I know Arteta from his rhetoric, from his body language, and he's trying to win Europa League. He wants the team to be as competitive as possible, and he wants the team to actually burn as possible. So he doesn't like to make too many changes. Why? For he wants the team to slow it. He doesn't want too much, because if you have a wholesale rotation, sometimes it affects the rhythm, it affects the flow of the game, it affects the relationships of the game. So when you do rotation sometimes, you have to make sure you do it sensibly. I understand a lot of us are used to the Wenger days where he does wholesale rotation. Yes, at that time, that was what we're used to. Another manager doesn't do that. We have to get used to it. This fear mongering of this nonsense of, oh, we might get injuries. Stop it. Come on, let's stop it. You're pushing this narrative. Injuries are part of the game. You can get injured without playing the game. Like I said yesterday, Smith got injured after the match when it's warmed down. So what about that? Quarantining, if you watch the All or Nothing documentary, Quarantining actually got injured coming out from the bathroom. So sometimes I understand you have to mitigate, you have to make sure the odds of injury are low as possible. But these guys are professionals. I've said it before. Calm the fuck down. These guys are professional footballers. That is their job. They have the best dietitian, nutritionist. They have the best doctors around them to advise them on their health. They have people watching, monitoring their fitness and progress. So I understand from your layman, you think this guy's in the red zone. Like even let's look at it from the layman perspective. For the first 5 weeks of this season, we've played just one game per week. Now, most of you want Arsenal to play in Champions League, right? You think Arsenal is going to have two different teams playing in the league and the Champions League? No. Like we see it with Man City, we see it with Liverpool, we see it with Chelsea. These guys play Saturday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And Saturday, we basically the first team squad. Now, you might have 4 to 5 players that are very high level, that are malleable, that can actually plug in some gaps in the first 11. But you're not having you're not having two separate teams playing in Europe and playing the league. It doesn't work like that. Can we just get this nonsense out of our system? I understand we're out of the Champions League for 6 years, but that doesn't mean your brain has actually been fried or diluted for 6 years. Like common sense should prevail. Even though you listen to some of these content creators and some of these pundits, come on, don't suspend your brain. And yeah, we like, come on, are you people all right? If you want to play in the Champions League, you have to play your first team. I don't mean your first team. You have to play your first 11 most of the time. Your best team. And your best team has to play in the Champions League and play at the weekend in the Premier in your league. So this nonsense, oh, let's rest some players. I understand we should be able to beat FC Zurich with our second string team, but football doesn't work like that sometimes. You need rhythm. You don't want to over rotate the squad. That's going to break the rhythm of the squad. That's going to break how to play. And let's not forget, even though in Europe you are playing these so-called minor teams, football is a very funny game. You could lose this game. And I love the fact that Teta wants to get games out of the way as quick as possible. Win the first 4 games, then you can decide to play with your second string teams. Then focus on the Premier League because the fixture for that time, if you look at the schedule and the date, it's going to be tougher. Why don't you get this one out of the way? Then you can actually rest your key players. And if you decide to play the kids, there's no consequences to it. But if you decide to rotate now, and you don't win those games, the pressure piles up. Like it's common sense. Even though I know it's not that common these days, but come on, don't fall for the fear mongering of these content creators. Is a content strategy. It's about the money. It's about the likes. It's about the engagement. So don't be that silly. Don't be that stupid. Use your brain. Like listen to them. I'm not saying you don't listen to them. I'm not saying you don't subscribe, but apply context to their whatever they feed you on their streams or on their content. Apply some common sense. Apply rationality and be objective enough to know that sometimes they make it a little bit melodramatic. Now, no, melodramatic brings you the views, brings you the likes. So sometimes they have to push it that way, but still use your brain. Like I said, and I'm sticking to it. If you look at the team news today, right? Let's look at the lineup, starting lineup. Arteta started with Tierney, Gabriel Magalhaes, Holding, Tomiyasu. So I started with the goalkeeper Turner. In the midfield, Xhaka and Lokonga played. Like we don't have any other midfielder. Partey is injured, and then he's injured. What do you expect him to do? Not play Xhaka? Play Sambi by himself? Like, let's stop it. I get your fear that injuries happen, but we are bare to the bone right now. We have to play these players. And let's not forget, these are professional footballers and athletes. They are paid. They are well taken care of. They'll be fine. Like if they want to be at the top level, they have to be prepared to play these games. They have to be able to play on on Saturday, on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and on next Saturday or Sunday. It's part of it's just job. Stop looking at this thing from your layman sense. And like I said in the opening part of this video, these guys have played for the first 5 weeks, 1 game every week. So what? So where is this born? These are going to get burnt out coming from? Like people are, let's follow some of the narratives I've seen on some platforms that was just comical to me. How are they going to get burnt out just playing 1 game per week for the last 5 weeks? Suddenly they're not playing 2 games or 3 games technically in 8 days. They're going to get burnt out. Come on, let's stop that nonsense. Yes, fear mongering. Let's stick to the match. So we know we scored in the first half. VAR Marquinhos, his official debut for Arsenal, playing the competitive game for Arsenal in Europa League. Fantastic is good in my opinion. Vieira himself played very well. Yes, the game was kind of drabby sometimes. It wasn't the most fluid games, even though, like I said, I was pointing out, when you do these changes and rotate, don't expect the same fluidity you have with the first 11 who are probably used to themselves, that most of them can play closing their eyes, play a pass to themselves closing their eyes. But when you introduce certain when you introduce other players rather into the first 11, though the fluency, the frequency won't be that smooth. The passing ranges won't be that smooth. So it's expected. Like I said, everybody expected us to get a victory, got a victory. Was it the most flamboyant of victory? Hell no, but we got the job done. Now, if you look at the stats, some of you that like to look at stats, let's look at the stats real quick. Let me see. If you look at the stats, right, FC Zurich had 30%, we have 70% of possession, which is good. Like, but if you watch the game, you can tell it wasn't that flowy. But we had the majority of possession. Sometimes it was pedestrian. It was kind of slow. It was kind of lethargic. But we still had majority of possession. You look at the shots. They had 10 shots, 4 on target. We had 18 shots, 8 on target. They had 5 corner kicks. We had 8 corner kicks. We had no yellow card. They had yellow card. So if you look at it, we had the significant parts of the start. We have the best of it. So, like I said, we did not play at our fluid best, but still got the job done. That's most important. And for those that were fear-mongering about fatigue and tiredness and burnt out, unfortunately, during the match, we heard all the sad news from United Kingdom about the passing of the Queen. God bless her soul. My condolences to my UK subscribers and audience. My condolences to you guys. So there is a high chance and probability or possibility rather that these weekend games might be postponed, meaning the players will still have their rest. So those of you that were shouting and fear-mongering about tiredness and injury, here we go. Here we go. I'm not confirming anything, but there's a high chance, we should know by tomorrow morning, there's a high chance that this weekend games in the English Premiership will be postponed due to the passing of the Queen of England. So let's see what happens tomorrow. So if the games are actually postponed, these players have the weekend to recuperate and rest adequately and do some training work on the training pitch. So most of the fear mongering, calm the F down. Like I said, calm the F down. Guys, like I said, we won the game, which is the most important statistics of the game. 2-1, 3 points on the board. Hopefully, we can get the job done as quick as possible, win our first 4 matches, and the remaining 2, we can take the kids there, and we are done. Like I said, these guys are professional athletes, they're professional footballers. They know how to do these things. Injuries can happen in and out of the pitch. So I get it. We want to try and secure the players. Fear mongering shouldn't be the motivating factor as fans. Let's calm down. Injuries can happen. They are part of the game. We have to find a way to deal with injuries, and we have a squad, in my opinion. Yes, we are short of 1 or 2 players, but I think we still have a very adequate squad to navigate the matches we have coming up. Like I said, do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the content and you like it. You must like the video for the algorithm. It's very important. Please do not forget. It's very important to me to like the video, turn the notification bell, and we will see you on the next video.